Good morning, brothers and sisters. I am obviously not at home. I am in wonderful Yuma, Arizona. I drove out yesterday to attend Yuma's lodge meeting last night. Uh, President Morgan Patterson and I had conspired a few months back. I had something I wanted to present to Brother Eric Egan, and I knew we were going to have to trick him to get him to a meeting. So, President Patterson, thank you so much for tricking him and getting him there without him actually knowing why I was there. So, the reason I was there, as you all, for those of you who are at National, you know that outgoing National trustees always receive a plaque. Um, and when I was leaving National Conference, they asked me if I'd be willing to take Brother Egan's plaque with me, and I said, absolutely, I will take that with me, and I'll make sure he gets it presented to him properly. And I thought that the best way to do that was to get him at his own lodge meeting and present him with the plaque that he so justly earned and deserved. So that's what I did last night. Then President Patterson and I went and had some Chili's and just relaxed and watched the football game. And now I'm up, and now I've got to convince myself to somehow drive back east instead of going west and landing in San Diego. The only thing that's going to stop me is probably my wife. She would not be happy if I sent her a picture from San Diego. So I'll turn around and go home. So happy December. Here we are, end of 2023. Pretty crazy if you ask me. But we've done a lot of good things, man. There's been a lot of good work happening on the national level. First, I want to start off. I want to let you know about two new national committee assignments. Brother Lynn Ideas, congratulations again, brother. I am so excited for you to be on the National Constitution and Bylaws Committee. For those of you who don't know, Brother Lynn is our chairman of our bylaws committee here in Arizona, and now he is on the national committee. And I think it's a perfect assignment, and I'm excited for him to be on that committee and serve. The other change that happened, and this just happened in the last week, that's why I waited so long to do this video. I wanted to get this last national board meeting underway so I could tell you everything that had been happening. The other change that happened was President Yos called me and asked me to serve as the chairman of the Border Safety Committee, and I absolutely said yes. So moving forward, I am the chairman of that committee, as well as my other assignments. So I do want to put out there. I'll just put it out there right now. Like, look, we know the current regime. We know what their border policy is, right? And we're not going to be able to affect policy. So my goal is to try and affect the safety of the boots on the ground. Obviously, we're going to have to do some massive recruitment, some retention, but I think we can do a lot of other things out there. That in talking to the troops on the ground, there are things that they would like to see on the border that they just don't have the funding for. So I'm hopeful that we can find some grants and some funding within the federal government to help them out and get them the tools that they need to, with the amount of people they have, still be effective on the border. Because as I've said before, and I said it at a national board meeting, I know all too well, living in Tucson almost my whole life, law enforcement starts at the border. If we can control the border, then we can control our communities a lot better and a lot safer. And we don't have to worry about crazy things like rainbow fentanyl coming up looking like Skittles to try and get our kids on drugs. Like this should be a no-brainer. We're going to see what we can do over the next couple of years to make it a no-brainer. All right, moving on. Healthcare. I want to make sure I touch on healthcare. I know it's a big question mark for everybody. So know that we still have our Medicare Aetna plan. We still have the FOP Healthcare Trust. I can tell you the trust is out there actively shopping larger groups, trying to get them signed up under Aetna. And then the new one that we just authorized President Yos to continue in negotiations with is with Thin Blue Line Healthcare. They are going to create a pre-65 healthcare plan for FOP members. So it's in the works. I think it will be sooner rather than later, but I just want to let you know that it is in the works. Once we have numbers and things like that, I'll be happy to send them out to you. Also, biggest news, at least for me, the biggest news that came out of the last board meeting is windfall elimination program. That bill that we've been fighting for over the last few years. Folks, this is a good year. We are currently sitting at 300 co-sponsors at Congress. which, as you know, 290 is the magic number that you need to automatically get a vote. Patrick Yos does a great job talking about this on his podcast. If you want to find that, he's going to explain it way better than I'm going to right now. I just, for the sake of time, I don't want to have you here forever, but if you're driving to Yuma for some reason or driving back from Yuma for some reason, it's a good podcast to listen to where they explain exactly the political strategy moving forward. Yes, we could force a vote at Congress right now, but the issue is really in the Senate, where right now we have 42 co-sponsors. So we got work to do there, right? We need that number to be at 60, which guarantees us into the White House and guarantees we get that bill signed and we get the government out of your guys' pockets. But it's closer today than it was last year when I told you that we had reached the 290. And remember last year when we reached 290, the session we only had a few months left in session. Now we have an entire calendar year left in session for this vote. So very big deal. Super proud of the work that we've done at the Capitol. And I will also let you know, our Arizona representatives, other than a congressman who won't talk to us about this bill, both of our senators are signed on as co-sponsors, and a vast majority of our Congress is signed on as co-sponsors. All right. What else we got? I think I'm going to set a world record here. This is going to be not the shortest. It'll be close. But I think we're done. So with that, what I want to say is please, please, please have a very, very Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. I hope everyone gets to do exactly whatever their vision of Christmas is. You know, for me, it'll be, we'll be at my mother-in-law's house, me, my wife, and then the adult kids will come over. But actually this Saturday I'll be at my best friend's house. We'll have Christmas with his family and us. And, you know, it's a special time of year for me. Some of you may have already known this story. Some of you are going to be hearing it for the first time. But this year it's a big year for me. 20 years ago on Christmas Eve, I left for work. I got into a foot chase with an auto theft suspect. And that's the last I remember. My backup officer circled back into the trailer park where the foot chase started, figured that I had already caught the suspect, and he found me lying face down in a pool of blood, completely unconscious, not breathing, and he had no idea what had happened. So he called in everybody. Everybody gets there, they rip all my stuff off, and they commence CPR. They ended up doing CPR for over 20 minutes as they transported me to the hospital. At the hospital, they discovered that I was in complete VFib and was technically dead. My heart had flatlined. And I died on duty that night. And so this year is the 20th anniversary of that momentous occasion. As you can see, I made it through that. I survived. Banner UMC, it was UMC Hospital back then, now it's Banner, Maine. Those guys did an amazing job and saved my life. And saved my life without putting any silly machine in my chest, because that was the other argument that happened after I came back to life. They wanted to throw a pacemaker in my chest, that there was no reason to do that. Anyway, we don't need to drag on the story. So it's a special year for me. I'm looking forward to celebrating it with the ones that I love, because I know I almost didn't get to. And being a 20th anniversary obviously is pretty momentous. So if that inspires you to do something different for Christmas, great. If not, just know that that's why it's special to me, and that's why I look forward to it every year. So that will be how I spend Christmas, is with my family, quiet, happy, and just loving each other. And I hope you all get to do the same. And while we're celebrating the holiday, let's make sure we take a minute to remember those families that lost somebody this year and aren't going to get to celebrate the holiday with their loved one that they actually lost. So unfortunately, those numbers continue to climb and continue to be out of control, with officers shot across the country. You know, thankfully, the medical advances and our equipment advances, we're surviving it more often, but it is still just a disturbing national trend. So, Merry Christmas, a very Merry Christmas from me, from my wife, from my kids, from my family to yours. A very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. And the next time I see you guys, it will be 2024. So I look forward to talking to you guys next month. And with that, I'm going to get this uploaded so I can get my self back to Tucson and get to work. So I will talk to you guys soon, and have a very nice day. Thank you.